I'm a business analyst here at Cogent, and we also have with us Miguel and Alfonso, both are tech leads, and our moderator, which is always Edgar. Edgar is an associate director here at Cogent. So welcome once again. Today's topic is coding excellence at work. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the techniques to amplify your skill sets. This is a very important topic for everyone in the IT world, but especially for developers. So we're going to see some of the expertise and experiences from our speakers today. So welcome once again. And Edgar, over to you.
Hey, Gabby. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Edgar.
Yeah, so, hey, Miguel, Alfonso. So basically, I would like to start by, making a small reflection and thinking about, whenever you want to improve doing anything pretty much in life, I guess one of the main parts that you need to tackle is be consistent, right? In this case, in particular, about coding, I guess one of the most important parts that we need to take into account is continuous learning. And that is like, how much are you getting updated in not only in the current technologies, but also in the technologies where you are specializing, right? And that means, for example, one question for everyone would be, when was the last time that you researched about new ways to do your work, new ways to create code, new ways to, like the latest updates for the programming language that you normally use. And hopefully the answer for that, ideally in an ideal world, that would be today, right? Like, or maybe yesterday. But the truth, I believe, is that sometimes we have to balance our times, we have to balance the work that we need to deliver and the improvement that we make as consultants and developers. And that balance might be a little bit tough, but that I would like to start this session with that idea that I think one of the keys to success is definitely being consistent and keep learning, like all the time, right? Once that I said that, I can now, like pass the, like the turn to Miguel. When I met Miguel the first time, I remember that something that really surprised me about him is that he was always coming with new things about programming languages and the things that we were doing. So what do you think, Miguel? What was that motivation that took you there and that helped you in getting all of this knowledge each and every day?
Yeah, thank you, Edgar. I'm not sure. I definitely like learning about the technology, coding, and that's what I think is, if you try new stuff, if you learn different topics, not connected only with coding. If you, for example, stay there looking for new technologies, new components, new approaches, I mean, you keep learning the whole time, reading what is the next trend and those kind of things. Then when you are in a project, and if you have a problem, you can easily you can see the big picture and you can add to the solution several fixes based on what you have in your mind. So that definitely I agree with you. Definitely this continuous learning. It's the key. Is the base when you are fixing or when you are participating in a project.
Mhm. Definitely. So another lifelong learner is Alfonso. So what do you think, Alfonso? For you, how does this work, and how do you find time to learn
Yeah,
all of those things that you are always learning?
Yeah, well, I think that
sorry, a
it's
parenthesis.
something
Alfonso
that
has 2 daughters. I don't know how Alfonso has time.
um, yeah, I think that is if something exists, use it, and if doesn't exist, develop it, right? So I like to learn or to discover new things, because I think these new things can help me to do my job faster and maybe better. And that's why I always like, and obviously I like to be on the on the edge about the technology, right? It's something that I like it, and actually I enjoy to learn about it. That's why I subscribe to newsletters and to some portals with technology news and those kind of things. And but also that's, and I think that's crucial, because yeah, we always have new libraries, new technologies that can help us, that maybe you can achieve the same goal but faster or better. And I think is worth to learn about it, because it can help us, right? But also I think we can keep learning the things, the basic things. For example,
Yeah,
here
good point.
in coding, um, we always have the chance, or yeah, the chance to learn about data structures, to learn about algorithms, and how to apply these data structures, solving daily problems, and the right data structure for the right problem, and those kind of things. And maybe if we practice, not just read about it, but practice it, it will help a lot in our daily basis. And we can how can we practice? Just code a simple application to reinforce your learning, and 30 minutes or 1 hour in your day, practice those kind of things, and that's enough to improve every day. And you will see the results in a month or 3 months later, and you will see that you are a best coder in the future. Yeah.
I also want to add something there. I know developers who know React or a framework, but they don't know JavaScript. That's crazy. It's like that always happens, right? We have a lot of pressure because we have the project in front of us, and then we need to fix something, or we have assigned tasks. So our first reaction is, okay, I need to review what is exactly the problem, and I don't know the language, but I'm gonna do it as soon as possible. But sometimes it's much better to take a break. That's like a personal recommendation. It's like okay, I need to add this functionality, and it's built in React. Okay, but I don't know JavaScript. So the idea there is, okay, please open start from scratch and start learning JavaScript. That will help you a lot in a couple of weeks, because yeah, I also feel actually I learned that from Alfonso. When you are participating in a new project, open the documentation. If you don't know, for example, Flutter, okay, don't try to follow your knowledge with Stack Overflow. No, please start from scratch, go to the documentation and try to work with the examples you have there, right? With the official documentation. That's basically a good point of start. What do
And
you
also,
think, Edgar?
I think that we can, there is a quote that I like for that from John Johnson, that is a senior programmer at Microsoft, that says, first solve the problem, then code it. Okay,
It's a good point.
so if we can understand the problem, we can solve it, and not in coding, but maybe in a little piece of paper, or yeah, I think we need to materialize our ideas into a paper, and then you can code it, because now you understand the problem and now you know how to solve it. So the coding will be easier than if you just read like the problem, not understand very well, and you start coding. It will mess up maybe the coding, but also your life, because you will start facing more issues than in the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. Good point.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point, Alfonso, because personally, I believe that as technology keeps evolving, right? And I've seen that happening in the past, not only, I'm not referring to AI only, and that is like the latest trend and something that would or has this potential to really, replace most of the coding work in the future. But our real work is, as you were mentioning, being problem solvers, right? So I have this philosophy that, yeah, right now it might be coding, and tomorrow it might be called no coding platforms or low coding platforms, and the day after tomorrow it might be called AI, Copilot, and at some point ChatGPT, and then whatever that comes next. So all of those, in the end, it is true, it's part of the work, but these are tools that we are using, right? But definitely we need to understand what's the underlying problem. And we also need to understand that whatever that we are coding, we are doing that to solve, to help somebody else solve a problem or unlock a opportunity for them. Especially, we are on the consulting world, and we are helping our clients reach their goals, right? So I think that's the first thing that needs to be clear to us, that we are not just coding a ticket. We are really trying to solve something for somebody. That's the real essence of what we are doing. And no matter what the tool name is, if we cannot get to that level in like C, we need to go from point A to point B, and it's our job to build that bridge, whatever the solution name is, right? Sometimes I found myself, instead of coding, just sending an email explaining exactly what is happening and what are the options. And that's what the client needs, right? He needs these solutions, no matter if we are coding or not. But it's very important, it's fundamental that we can understand the problem first, and then that we can think about possible solutions and find the best one, right? So I think that point is really, really important. I would like to know from you guys also, what do you recommend? What are your usual sources of information? I think that's very valuable as well, right? Because we are saying, yes, continuous learning, but where do you find that new learning normally?
Yeah, I usually use a lot Twitter. I just follow like interesting topics. For example, technology, JavaScript, those kind of like interests I have. So, and that's good because every time you visit Twitter, you're gonna get an overall, like a big picture about the technology in real time. So that's my first point of like a contact with the trends. And I also like I'm not sure how to say that, but it's like I really like to visit GitHub, because in GitHub you have this section, the explore with the trends, and you can learn a lot there, and you can see, okay, why this project is on trend and it's having a lot of starts and everybody's talking about it. You can navigate directly through the code and you can see, okay, that's why it's interesting. They are fixing something. And even if you just navigate through GitHub, you choose, for example, okay, I'm gonna review what's the source code of Flutter. If you see the repository and the issues they have and everything, you will learn a lot. So that's basically what I try to follow.
I always like to start with the official documentation of the project or the library that we are using or trying to learn. And there is in that documentation, there is always more, like learn more, and you can jump to other portals or something like that. And once I know that what I need to learn, I start also like watching tutorials or something like that, maybe in YouTube or maybe in Udemy also. And for basic things or basic stuff, I like to use Coursera because there is a lot of resources there, official resources, and also most of them are free. So I think that's a good resource. And also I can say that, yes, as you said, we can leverage of all the tools that we have now that 10 years ago we didn't have, like AI tools, all the information that we have on the internet, all the tutorials and everything. So yeah, we can use those tools and for our daily basis.
ఇప్పుడు పెద్ద కంపెనీలు ఎప్పుడు ఇవ్వవు, ఓన్లీ స్టార్ట్అప్స్ ఇంకా సర్వీస్ బేస్డ్ కంపెనీస్, ఈ రెండే.
Yep, I'm not sure if Harita was talking or that was just background noise. But please, Alfonso, continue.
No, yeah. Also, there is, for example, in Harvard University and MIT, there are some free tutorials or free courses, complete courses that you can use to know something new, or as I said, the basic things.
Mm-hmm. So what do you guys think? Can we open some resources of the ones that we normally use and walk people through them so they see what we are talking about and perhaps they get a better idea on these different resources? Perhaps I can start real quick. Okay, let me share my screen. And yeah, just 1 second. There we go. Yeah. So this, for example, is we mentioned about algorithms, right? And the basics. And I think it's very, very important because no matter where you go, in the case of coding, what programming language you're using, there's always these things that come back over and over. And, you have to make your programs efficient and you have to use your resources as better as possible. And that will also improve the quality of your code and the work that the work that you are doing in general. I really like this book because it is illustrated and it's not something that you would normally find. It talks about algorithms, right? But the good thing about this, and I believe it's something different from what you normally see, is that whenever you are reading about particular algorithms, you have like this long technical description on how they work. And if, for example, you are like a good visual learner, then sometimes you need these cues, right? Like these hints on what really is happening behind the scenes. So I found this book one day, and I really thought like I like it in the sense of I can really, like even read it as a hobby, because it's really, very, very graphical. And you can see here, for example, how it's helping you understand the different steps for different techniques. For example, here they are explaining the binary search, right? And they are explaining how many steps you would need to start, how many steps in your code you would need to go from one number and find another. And later they explain different techniques to see how efficient it can be by using these algorithms. And then you can go and really make a small program and put this in practice. So this resource in particular, for me, it's like funny and easy to follow.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and you really get to understand like what is happening and why it is better to do one thing as opposed to the other, right?
Yeah.
I also think this kind of ideas, this kind of implementations can separate you from regular coders. I believe, Miguel, we were talking about the other day, like it is likely that most of the routine work in coding will disappear at some point soon, right? Like, just coding one screen or coding, like how you want to arrange things on the screen, etc. Those kind of things will start to, to have less demand because as we get more sophisticated tools, then all of that will be more automatic. And the coders that will be there still in the future are the ones that actually understand how things work and are able to solve problems in the most efficient way, right? So,
yeah, definitely this one. Yeah,
mhm.
this is pretty cool recommendation. I remember when I was studying there in university, it was very complicated to understand big O notation, right? The concepts, the algorithms. It's like a very, very abstract. And the good thing about this book is basically you have those cartoons, and I think it's very well explained step by step. So yeah, definitely. Actually, Edgar recommended like many months ago this one, and yeah, it's pretty helpful.
Yeah, so these kind of resources, I think, are very helpful. Another thing that I like to do from time to time is just open Medium. You can have it in your cell phone, and then you can go through different topics. Although normally I focus, of course, on the programming and like technology overall. And Medium, as any other site where people can publish things, has varying quality, right? You can find things that are really useful and really like practical, and you can actually use that. And you can find other things that are just bluffing and talking about things that don't make much sense. So I think like with some time after using that, you start getting that feeling like even by the time you enter one of these blocks, then you say, yeah, this is good, or you start saying, you know what, I'll just skip to the next one. But the idea here, as Miguel was saying, for example, with Twitter, is that you can keep up with some of the latest trends. And I think I found myself enjoying some of these blogs from time to time. So that would be another recommendation from my side. And one final thing that I normally do is just enter LinkedIn, and I try to follow, not necessarily connect, but follow people who I know, or for example, that I've seen in Twitter, etc. And normally, if I follow these people, then I start getting news straight into my timeline, right? And then I don't really have to worry about going and finding those things myself. I can just come here, scroll a little bit, and start seeing interesting things from the get-go. So I normally use LinkedIn as well, to learn new things. So yeah, those would be some of the sources that I normally use alongside Twitter, as Miguel was saying. So yeah, what do you think, Miguel? Can you show us perhaps GitHub and this trending part where you can see like the new projects, etc. I think that's also very interesting to see, right?
Yeah, sure. Just a second.
Mm-hmm.
You also recommended there in the chat a book called Clean Code. So pretty cool because you can understand more from the architecture and trying to avoid the technical depth. It's also pretty cool. I learned a lot from that one.
Nice, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, just
I'm
a second.
pasting these links as well. Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, you just need to go to the Explore. Okay. Just github.com/explore, and you will see those tabs. So here obviously gonna have like specific topics you want. But I usually use this one, trending. So from here you will see, for example, this one. It's getting almost 2,000 starts today. So it's interesting, right? Like, okay, this project is a machine learning framework for Rust. So you can navigate through the code and you can see what's happening, right? Even they are creating PRs. The community, the open source community is working on it, or so you can learn a lot, and you can also try with specific like rock stars developers. You can see exactly how they work, and you can learn a lot definitely from here, from those guys. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's basically the idea here.
I also remember that, sorry to interrupt you, Miguel,
Yeah,
that
please.
you told me about some repositories that have like many resources on one topic that are
Oh
like
yeah, I don't remember that right
definitely
now, but yeah, it's
guides
very
or.
common. Yeah, per top, actually per technology. But yeah, I don't have it at the moment, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna look at
Do
that.
you remember the name?
Oh, sorry. But yeah, let
Okay, no
me give me time, and I'm gonna share it there in the chat.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So what about you, Alfonso? Can you share with us some of the resources that you
Yeah.
are normally seeing?
Yes.
Thank
you. Okay. So I would like to start with Coursera. As I said, I think it's a pretty good platform for learning because most of the courses here are free. And actually you can get, for example, a master, obviously that have a fee, but I think it's a pretty good platform because you can learn a lot of things here. For example, we can if I want to learn about data structures, I can just search for it. And for example, I have this specialization that has many courses here. And you can enroll it for free here. But also we can have, and actually, you know, this is the University of California, San Diego. That university is giving the course, so I think is. But also we can, for example, search for AWS. If I want to learn something about AWS, we can have this kind of courses provided by AWS. So I think is a pretty good option. Also is for free. And you can have here, for example, what you're going to learn. And it is self-paced, so you can spend 1 hour, 30 minutes a day. You can go following the course. So this is what also, for example, Google offers some specializations: cybersecurity, data analytics, support. So different kind of courses, but also you can achieve a certificate by Google or AWS or IBM, depending on what you want to achieve. This is one of my favorites. There is a lot of resources about AI also. This is, for example, A for Everyone. You can understand the basics about generative AI, machine learning, so foundations provided by IBM. So I think it's a pretty good platform to learn something new. Here at MIT also you can have the official courses provided by MIT, and also is for free. And also you can have a lot of different areas. Harvard as well has the same. For example, this Introduction to Computer Science is the official course that Harvard alumni got.
That one helps a lot when you want to start from scratch.
Yeah, exactly.
As a developer, yeah.
Yeah, and it's free. It takes 11 weeks.
I also took that one. It's pretty cool because the options you have, the way they are explain everything. It's pretty cool. It's also recommend that one.
And you can have a lot of courses, right? For example, this programming with Scratch or game development. So you can search for a lot of resources. So when I want to search for something new in SAP, my favorite place to search is this platform for developers. And here we have a lot of tutorials that are pretty good, well explained. And also I like to follow these tutorials because it helps me to understand in a best way the new feature or the new service that SAP is releasing. I like this, for example, for Web3. I took this one, and as you can see, you have like the fundamentals. This is Alchemy University. Alchemy is a company that develops libraries and cloud services and everything for Web3. But you can start with the fundamentals, then understand what is blockchain and how it works and the basics of the blockchain, and then you can go with build some projects around Web3. So I think all of these are free, okay? And then we have this HackerRank that is a pretty cool platform to put in practice all your knowledge, solving problems. So we have like a specific topics where we can practice. And also it's free. You have a lot of problems and everything to put in practice your knowledge. And now, obviously, I like tweets. I have these notifications available for the accounts that I want to follow. So yeah, I think is my set of resources that I follow.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for sharing, Alfonso. So I have one more. You mentioned practicing, right? And I believe coding in the end needs lots of practice. And I normally like to recommend platforms like this. This one is called CodeWords. And the interesting part about CodeWords is that you get challenges that they call katas. And basically, here they have a description, a problem, right? Like a requirement, if we want to see it that way. And then they give you like the inputs and the outputs that, for example, you need to generate. These exercises have like different levels of difficulty, starting from 8 and going up all the way to 1. So starting from number 4, I think they are already pretty difficult. But what I really like about this platform is that once that you solve it, or if you tried it and you see that you cannot solve it, then you can unlock the solutions by other people, right? And here, for example, you can see how they are creating different functions. They are using different, elements of the language. Some of them, are, for example, here, this particular problem, right? This is about RGB to hex conversion, like these color formats. And then you can see really different ways to do it. Like, for example, this person here kind of created the whole mapping of
Okay.
yeah, of all the things, right? And then use some function to try to determine the conversion. And then, for example, this person here used a just like this map function, and then he used some other methods here to add some zeros to the right, and then convert it to uppercase, and then like joining the
Very
whole
elegant.
thing. Yeah, so you can really see different ways of solving the same problem. And not only that, you can also see comments from developers like, oh yeah, I really like this approach, or I like that piece of code, right? So by the time that you start using it, and I believe that's important, when you use it, then you come up with one solution, right? And then you also get like execution time, and you get like the testing to see if it works, etc. But once that you completed the challenge, you get to see how other people did it, and then you can also learn from them. Like, oh, so this guy used this because of that. And maybe if you have questions, you can come here and ask them, hey, why did you use this to string 16, right? What's the meaning of that? Or I cannot understand it, or what would you recommend? And then these people are really open to share. And in that way, you can also learn, from other people in what they are doing. And this for sure will help you improve your code. I don't know, it's pretty interesting. Not sure if you guys have ever worked with a platform like this, in particular the audience, but the fact that you can interact and speak about one particular problem and discuss the solutions and understand different techniques, I think it's pretty valuable from platforms like this, and it's a great way to keep improving your technical knowledge, right? Okay, so I want to share that. And I've seen Gabby pretty, silent. I know this is a technical topic, but general, what do
No,
you think
actually,
about?
like whatever websites that you're speaking of, I'm there. Like obviously looking for things that I like, but I think it's great. I think we all we're gonna end this social with a lot of valuable information, so that's great. And one thing that I wanted to say, and I think Alfonso mentioned it, ever since I can remember, I've been very curious, and YouTube, like before, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, YouTube has helped me a lot in whatever app or a program, anything that I want to know about. YouTube can be a very good source of information. Personally, I have learned a lot using YouTube, so that's great. And nowadays, I also can see how Instagram now has a lot of
it's a content.
influencers or just people with a lot of knowledge that also can provide some of the news, technical news or AI news. And over there, I have also not learned like valuable information, but I happen to know about the trends over there, as well as Twitter. But I just wanted to mention Instagram as well, because in my case, I can see a lot of information there that it's valuable to me, at least. So yeah, I'm learning, Ed.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Gabby. Actually, YouTube, I think in general, not only for coding, it's like an unlimited source of knowledge, right? I mean, literally, you can go and look up, like anything that you want to do, and most probably there's somebody that already made a video out of that, and you get to learn that topic. So I wish I had that 20 years ago, and then who knows how much more things I would know already.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, it's a great source of knowledge. Yeah, so I mean, we spoke about consistency. We spoke about practice. We spoke about like revisiting the basics. Very important things. Another thing that I really liked, and I did that a few times in the past, is coding along with somebody else. Normally that's called pair programming. And I even think there are tools now where you can do that, like collaboratively, like in pairs or more people. Then you can all go into one IDE and start coding and start reviewing how to solve problems, right? So as we were seeing in this site, Code Wars, you get to see like the solution that somebody else had for a problem. But whenever you have a chance to, like participate and collaborate with somebody like in real time, I think that's also very useful because you get to understand not only the code and the solution, but also the reasoning behind it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that those kind of experiences are also valuable because you get to see how other people solve the same problem in what ideas they have, and you can also learn from there. Yes. So not sure, Miguel, Alfonso, have you guys have had that chance to, like work or code like that? In what's your
Yeah,
experience
this
regarding
is
that?
what I miss for working home office. Yeah, I remember those rooms with a lot of coders and a lot of the designers even everybody thinking the same idea and fixing, even just drawing the solution instead of directly coding it. So yeah, then I learned a lot in that way. You're right. That's why also I always try to use a war room session with many developers in a room, for example, and we can everybody try the ideas there. So it's pretty helpful.
Yes, that's true. And it's also kind of fun because then you can also engage in discussions like, no, I think this way is better, and the other guy is like, no, I'm pretty sure this is the way. And then you can start just like discussing for some minutes, but not in a bad way. I mean, like just setting some ideas there.
Healthy discussion, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the end, sometimes a new solution comes out of that discussion, and you really get to learn a lot. So that's another thing that I like to do. And sometimes hackathons are also useful. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to say that in my case and in my opinion, that's a great practice. Obviously, I'm not a developer, but we do that whenever there's a new project and we are brainstorming about how we are going to make it work or look. And it's a session where we all can say our thoughts, opinions, ideas. I learn from you, you learn from the rest. I mean, to me, it's a great practice. I know what Miguel says, that having that interaction one-on-one, like everyone in the same room talking and all that, makes it probably a little bit better, but doing it over Zoom or any call, it's also great. It's a great practice. I really appreciate it, and I learn a lot, and I really like it.
Yes, definitely, Gabby. And it's also a great experience because you also get to learn, people, and you can make friends that way as well. So it's a win-win from wherever you see it. Yeah, correct. So as I was saying, another way to practice your coding skills is by attending hackathons, where you would normally come with a team or like integrate as part of another team, and then you get to code. You get to solve one problem, because again, that's like the main goal. But to do that, you code, right? And then it can be like for a few hours, or it can be for days. And by that, I say I really mean it. There are hackathons where people stay over the venue, and in the venue, and then they keep coding for days, for a whole weekend,
so
perhaps. Yeah. So it's a crazy experience, but at the same
try
time,
once per year.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's another thing that you guys can do. What else? For sure, networking. Something that I really like is like creating WhatsApp groups, or like in another social media platform. That's fine, but then sharing tips. Like, hey guys, I saw this, and I found it interesting, and then somebody else does the same. Then in the end, you end up with a group where you are all sharing knowledge, and you're all sharing techniques and things that you discovered. So that definitely is another way, I believe, to keep learning and keep growing while improving your own skills, right? Yeah. So a lot of things, I guess. I don't know, Alfonso, Miguel, Gabby, do you have any comments? We are approaching the end of the session.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask the audience if there's any other platform or ways to get the latest trends, news, or information about technology or your roles that we haven't mentioned yet. If so, you can either leave it on the comments or unmute yourselves. It would be great to know some other platforms, if you can think of any.
Hello, Gary. Hi, all.
Hey,
Hi.
Yeah, hi. I mean, previously, what I used to do, like if I want to learn suppose I want to learn React. I want to learn in advanced level. So what I used to do is I go to Udemy and I will see the popular course. It will be paid only, but I will go to the popular course and I will see for those titles. Today I will see those titles and I will search these titles in Google or YouTube, or I will search for this title in any Medium blog. I will learn like this. Previously I used to do, but now due to this ChatGPT, I am directly typing in ChatGPT like roadmap. Give me a roadmap to learn React. It is giving some instruction and following that thing. Yeah.
Great.
Previously I used to do, like I have learned Flutter like this only. Like I followed a popular course and I used to go through their subtitles or titles, and I used to search in YouTube or any Medium blog or Google. Likewise, I used to learn. Like Udemy is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, thanks, Venkat. I agree. I think having that skill of being a great or an amazing researcher is a fundamental key when trying to learn something. Researching makes everything. Like I was saying, like 20 years ago, people was learning by like typing on Google and reading. I think nowadays it's easier to learn because we have so many ways of learning. You can do a course, or you can watch your tutorials. But at the end, researching is the key, in my opinion. So thanks for your participation, and I think it's a great skill to have.
And a very smart approach. Huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for sharing it.
Okay, so if there's no one else, I think we can start wrapping up. It's almost time already. So anything else from anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, as a final comment from my side, just stay curious and keep learning all the time. And this investment that you do of time and energy in the end pays off. I can really vouch for that. So just try to keep learning, and if you find any new resources, maybe Gabby, we can create like a WhatsApp group or something, and we can start sharing some things there. That would be cool, that we can all have that opportunity to learn new things. So,
yeah, I was thinking to get all the websites and all the platforms that we discussed today and share it via WhatsApp or email to everyone that was here. I think it would be great just to have them accessible. Yeah, so let's work on that.
Great.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Alfonso, Miguel, and everyone. Someone is saying on LinkedIn, there are so many groups for development and testing. People post questions, polls on their groups. This serves as a key to learning the concepts. Totally, yeah. LinkedIn is a great source as well, as Edgar mentioned at some point. Thank you, Samya. Okay, thank you everyone for another great session. I hope you have learned a lot today. I personally did. Thank you to the speakers for always sharing all this valuable information with all of us. And we'll see you again probably in 15 days or a month. Thanks again. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.